Hi and welcome to this DCP Web HTML5 CSS beginners tutorial part 13. So in part 13 we're going to look at something called an iframe. So the first thing we'll do is open up our web browser, and we'll do like we usually do. We'll open up this directory and we'll drag and drop the index file into here. And then if we want to open this file in Notepad++, we can just right click on it and say edit with Notepad++, and if we do that, then it will bring the page open with all the code that we wrote previously. So looking at this code, we finished off at the bottom here and we added an image, and then we added these links. Remember, we put a link on the image to the Chelsea Flower Show, and we've made all these different links, and some of them are anchors, so when we click on some they'll go to specific points in the page. Some of them are referencing a new page that we created, a second page. So here we can see the copyright that we did as well in the last tutorial. So we looked at special characters and stuff like this, and we just want to add a horizontal line just above it. So we'll move our mouse just above this copyright here, and we'll tab in and we just do HR to make a line. We'll save this, Control S, refresh, and now we've got that line there. And in here we want to create something called an iframe. So let's see what that actually does. So we'll do iframe, and we need to close our iframe tag. So we've got two iframe tags here, one opening and one closing. And this iframe works a bit like the images, yeah? So if we look at the image tag here, image, this says image, and this one just says iframe, and this says the source. So we need to give the iframe a source. So let's do source equals, and in this example we'll put the speech marks. I'm just going to put my own website there for now. You can put any other website. Some websites will allow this, some will block you from doing this. It really depends on the website, to be honest. And we should really set a width and height. In fact, let's just save this as it is right now, and let's just see what happens. So when we click refresh, we can see my website load up into this iframe. We really want to make this a bit wider and a bit taller because it's a bit hard to see like this. So we can set the width and height, just like we can set the width and height of an image, we can set the width and height of an iframe. So let's set the width to something like, let's say 400 pixels. So it's 400 pixels wide, and the height, we'll set it to the same. Let's set that to around 400 pixels. And now when we save it and then refresh, we'll see it's 400 wide and 400 high, and now it's a lot easier to see this website inside. We could even go to a specific page, so we could do something like DCP web / blog, and then when we refresh, now it's showing my blog, right? So you may want to do an iframe on a page and just show all of your blog posts in here. You can see all the different blog posts that I've done hundreds. So you can go here and watch loads of videos. You can even go to blog categories. You can pick specific categories. You can pick by type, so you can click all videos, and then it will only show you videos in here, and you can see all the different tutorials I've done based on video content. So let's create another iframe. Let's do something a bit different, and in this second example we'll go down. Let's just save this, and we'll do iframe, the source, and then we're going to close this iframe. Make sure you get your spelling right. And then inside of this source we want to link to the page that we created before. Do you remember we created a second page? So if we look in this directory, we've got a file HTML file called newpage.html. So let's try and link to that. So we'll do source equals newpage.html, and maybe we'll set the width and height on this one. So let's, I know there wasn't much content in here, so we'll set the width to 400 and we'll set the height to, let's say, something like 200. And let's refresh this, save it and refresh. Then we've got, this is a link to the first page I created, and if we open that page, so if we open up our directory and we drag, let's create a new tab here, and drag and drop this in here. It says this is a link to the first page I created, and we're looking at that same page. So we're looking at this new page, but within this first page we created, and here's the link there. So if I were to click on this link, it's going to do something a bit crazy. Normally you would never do this, but if I did click on this link, it's going to load the same page that we're actually coding at the moment. You can see, look, this will be the main title for this page. This will be the main title for this page, because in this second page we created a link back to it, remember? So here you can see this is linked to the new page. We click that and it will load that page. Then we click this link and it will take us back to our original page. So that might be a little bit confusing there, but it makes sense. We're actually linking to a page that we've created in the same directory. That's what I want to explain. So let's do one more other link. Let's do something a bit more interesting, right? So iframes, I hardly ever use them, but there's one exception, and there's actually a few exceptions, but let's look at a good example where you would use iframe quite often. So let's go ahead and look at my YouTube channel. So I'm going to youtube.com/DCP web designers. And when we get to this website, I'm going to click on videos. And if you're interested, I've done tons of videos on loads of different stuff. There's about 180, 90 videos here now of all the different things that I've done. It covers a wide range of subject areas, from graphic design, 3D animation, setting up a Twitter account, GIMP software, manipulation, converting files, free stock images, you name it, I've probably done it. So in here, we'll pick a video. So let's pick something like, let's have a look at this picture-in-picture YouTube tutorial. So I'll click on that and the video will start to play. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go to share here. And this share options will show, and I'm going to click on embed. And then I'm going to copy all of this content, copy it in here. So just right click, copy, and then we can close this, just click out of it and close this window. And then we'll go over to our code and we'll paste this here. You can see it set the width and the height, and it set the iframe, and it's got the video embedded inside, and it says autoplay. So we can do refresh and we'll see the video in here, but it looks a bit too wide, right? So we can manipulate that. So we can do something like let's say to something like what did we set the other one to? The width was 400, so let's set it to 400 by something like 250, and we'll refresh. Let's scroll down. Now we can see the video in here and we can play it. So that's my YouTube tutorial playing right now. So let's have a look at an example where I use iframe on my own website. If I go to my website and we go to my blog, and in the post types, if we select video, it will only show you videos that I've created, all the different videos that I've created. So let's pick one. Let's say like how to install XAMPP onto Windows 10. We'll click on that, and here's the iframe that I'm using. So I'm using exactly the same logic as what we're using right here. Same thing. So let's close this, and can you see this is sticking out on the side here? And when we resize it, it sits at the bottom, but when it's wide like that, it doesn't do that. So really we should put a, let's try and put a break in here. And then we need to put another break as well. So let's put a break here between these two iframes. Let's see if that fixes that. Now they're all on one line, you see. And here you can see the website that the iframe for the website. Here you can see an iframe that's embedding a page that we've created in the same folder. So it's like a local file, you could say. And here's an iframe which will allow us to play a video. That's quite cool, right? So there's some good examples of using iframe. Again, I would really do something like this. I wouldn't really do something like this, but there's some exceptions, especially when you're using third-party tools. So if you're using tools from other websites, or if you're trying to get some video playing from another website like Vimeo, for example, or YouTube, sometimes there's some scripts and stuff like that that use iframe, because it's really what iframe is doing is saying, give me a window, but the content inside is going to be from a completely different location. And you can see that on all three of these, the content, although this is a page itself that we're creating, the content is coming from somewhere else. It's not on the actual code, right? The content is coming from somewhere else here. That's what you need to understand on all three of these examples. So I hope that makes sense. We'll save this. Let's just refresh it one more time, and it all looks good. And that is going to be the end of this part of the tutorial, and in here we explain how to use iframes. Okay, I hope you find that tutorial useful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next DCP web tutorial.